The story begins on a rainy night. We see some men fighting some assassins. The assassins had already killed a lot of people. The leader of the men asked them about how long they are going to keep attacking them. The assassins ignored the man and charged at them. The men raised their blades and fought to defend themselves. 3 assassins charged at the leader. They told him that he is going to die. The man easily tore them apart. Although he was able to take care of the assassins, the leader knew that they were still too much. He called the assassin bastards. He knew the people who sent the assassins to him. He could not believe that they would stab him in the back after he made a deal with them. He looked at the carriage behind him and promised to protect the person inside. The man asked his subordinates to hold on with everything they have. He assured them that help is on the way. The moment he said this, someone threw a person's head on the ground. He asked the leader if this is the help he is referring to. The leader was shocked to see this. He could not believe that their reinforcement has been wiped out. He wondered about how it happened. He did not know who killed them. The moment he raised his head up, he saw the Murim Alliance leader with the assassins. This man is known as the first heaven-piercing sword. His name is Dam Chunhak. Chunhak walked up to the leader. He said that the power of the Ice Pavilion is truly formidable. He told the leader that he never expected them to be able to put up a fight against them. The leader smiled when he heard this. He said that he never expected him to be cocky. He told the Alliance leader that he would have been in trouble if he met his master. The assassins were annoyed to hear this. They could not believe that some barbarian was speaking rudely to their master. They said that they would cut off his tongue. They promised to kill him there, before the assassins could do anything. A woman stepped out of the carriage and asked them to wait. The leader was surprised to see the woman known as Wayan. Wayan asked him to not worry about her. Chunhak asked the assassins to back down when he saw the woman. Wayan walked up to him. Chunhak could not believe that his daughter was deceived by barbarians and ended up running away. He told her that he has never been so embarrassed before. He stretched out his hand and told her that everyone makes mistakes. He said that she can be forgiven. He told her that he is going to give her one last chance to return as her father. He believed that she was going to make the right choice because she is smart. Wayan asked her father if he will let the men live if she goes back with him. Chunhak glared at her. The woman understood what he was trying to say. She apologized to him. Chunhak did not expect the apology. He realized that she wasn't leaving with him. He raised his sword. The leader was shocked to see this. Chunhak used his sword to cut his own daughter down. He turned around and said that he no longer has a daughter. He said that she has been influenced by barbarians. He told the assassins that their sole mission is to recover the soul of the Central Plains. He asked them to clean up the mess. The assassins rushed to attack the injured men when they heard this. The leader took out 3 assassins that came close to him. He asked his men to fight till the end. The men accepted his orders and began to fight without fear. While she was on the ground, Wayan told herself that she needs to return somewhere. She apologized to someone in her head for not keeping her promise. She said that it will be different next time. The scene shifts and we are taken to a palace. We see someone reporting to his master. His master asked him to repeat what he said. His master's name is Seol Mudak. He is the Northern Sea Palace Master and our protagonist. His subordinate revealed to him that Lord Bai Muyue, who went to the gathering as an envoy to conclude negotiations with the Murim Alliance, fought the alliance. He and his group were annihilated. The moment he heard this, Mudak released his terrifying cold energy in his palace. His subordinates did not flinch. They simply stood. With a look of anger on his face, Mudak said that he will never forgive the Murim Alliance. He promised to wipe them off the map. He asked his subordinates to get ready. The men quickly gathered outside. Mudak told them that they are going to the Central Plains. In the next scene, we are taken to a battlefield covered with snow. We see an injured Chunhak struggling to stay alive. Several blades were sticking out of his body. He looked around and saw countless dead bodies. He could not believe that his entire army was annihilated. He noticed that his inner energy was depleted. He realized that this might be the end for him. He asked the Northern Sea Palace Master to kill him now. Mudak glared at him when he heard this. He moved close to him. He asked Chunhak to tell him why he killed his daughter. Chunhak laughed when he heard this. He asked Mudak to stop asking a stupid question. With a deranged look on his face, he said that the daughter of the alliance leader cannot be playing love games with a barbarian like him. He said that it would have been a bigger mistake to let Wayan live. Mudak raised his hand and gathered his energy. With a creepy smile on his face, Chunhak told our boy that he won't get what he wants the most even though he took over the Central Plains. The moment he said this, Mudok pierced his heart with his sword which he fired at him. Chunhak could not believe that this is how he is going to die after everything. Memories of his daughter flashed in his head. He remembered how he raised her. He wondered why she betrayed him and associated with a bastard. He remembered how he cut Weiyan down. The man said that he is infuriated and resentful. With the death of the Murim Alliance leader, the 6-year-long Great Blood Battle came to an end. The living legend of the Northern Sea Palace became the uncontested ruler of the Central Plains that day. However, Mudok showed no emotion. He simply gazed at the moon. The scene shifts and we are taken to Mudok's room. We see a flower that seems to have lost its nutrient. Our boy realized that this flower is the only thing he has left. He thought about how he got the flower. In the past, Weiyan barged into his room while he was writing. She referred to him as Gaga. He asked her about what happened. The woman asked him to take a look at the flower. She said that the lotus of love has finally bloomed. Mudok was surprised to hear this. He remembered that the lotus of love is a flower that blooms when lovers truly love each other. With tears in her eyes, Weiyan told our boy that she never doubted his feelings. She explained to him that she was actually upset that the lotus wouldn't bloom. She said she is fine now that it has bloomed beautifully. She was happy to see that her love was not one-sided. She said that Mudok really loves her. Our boy hugged her. He told her that he cannot love anyone else apart from her. Mudok was grateful to the flower for making Weiyan so happy. He decided to fill the garden with the lotus of love in order to remember Weiyan. He gently tapped the flower. He said that he cannot forget the woman no matter how much he tries. Immediately he said this. The flower bloomed again. Our boy was shocked to see this. He did not know how it was possible. He called out to someone known as Myong. The man appeared behind him. Mudok ordered him to find someone who can explain what just happened. He asked him to find the right person even if he has to search the entire Central Plains. Myong accepted his master's order and disappeared. A few days later, we see the Manbaches who are said to know everything in the world gathered at the Northern Sea Palace. The men did not know why they were called. While they were talking, someone asked them to step outside. The men were surprised to hear a voice from the sky. They all decided to step outside. When they stepped into the garden, they saw something shocking. They saw a garden filled with the lotus of love. Each of the flowers had bloomed. One of them said that this is his first time seeing a garden like this. The lotus of love is a flower that some might not get to see even once in their lives, and yet there was a garden filled with it. The men noticed that the character of love is inscribed at the stems as if it was embroidered there. They were certain that they were looking at the lotus of love. While they were looking at the flowers, Mudok appeared behind them. He asked them if they like it. The men turned around and said that they do. One of them asked him for his identity. Our boy shared his name with them. He said that he is the owner of the garden. The men were shocked to see the absolute ruler of the Central Plains. Mudok revealed to them that he and his lover made a lotus of love bloom with their love. He told them that the flower died when his lover died. He explained to them that the flower suddenly got revived a few days ago. The men were shocked to hear this. They could not believe that a lotus of love got revived. This was a strange phenomenon to them. An older man among them said that there is one possibility. Mudok appeared in front of the man and asked him to say it. He said that reincarnation might be able to do this. He explained to Mudok that his lover has reincarnated somewhere else in the world. With a scary look on his face, our boy asked the man if he is telling the truth. The man became nervous when he saw the look on his face. He said that there is no other explanation for the lotus of love to bloom again. Mudok smiled when he heard this. He finally had some hope. Our boy fulfilled the long-cherished wish of the Northern Sea Palace by successfully entering the Central Plains and unifying the entire region. However, all that was left for him was emptiness. As the Northern Sea prospers, Mudok's longing for his lover grows. He asked the old man to tell him how he can find Weiyan. According to the man, the lotus of love glows faintly when the two lovers are in the same place. He told the palace master that the lotus of love will glow when he finds his lover. Upon hearing what he said, Mudok realized that the lotus of love Weiyan showed him was glowing. He didn't think much of it at the time. He never expected it to be hiding a secret. The wise man explained to Mudok that it will be difficult for him to carry a live flower around. He advised him to craft the lotus of love into a jewel to carry with him. Our boy asked him if it is possible to do this. The man told him that it is. Mudok turned around and told the man that he will entrust everything to him. He said that they will depart in 10 days. He asked him to make all the preparations by then. The man accepted his order. Mudok revealed to the Manboxes that they will each receive 100 niang of gold if things go well. The men were shocked to hear this. They asked him if he is serious. Mudok told them that he will be leaving now. The men bowed their heads and asked him to take care. Inside his room, our boy looked out his window. He could not believe that he has been given some hope again. He promised himself that he will not let go of this hope. He said that he will find Wei-in no matter where she is. He asked his lover to wait for him. In the next scene, we are taken to a ship. The ship was sailing somewhere. We see Mudok inside the ship. He was looking at a map. He noticed that he had been to most places. He realized that the last place left is Hainan. It has been 3 years and 5 months since our boy started searching for Wei-in. He did not find her anywhere in the Central Plains during this time. Mudok advanced from the transformation realm to the profound realm and experienced complete metamorphosis twice. Our boy believed that his lover must be in Hainan. He touched his jewel and remembered what he said to her. The scene shifts and we are taken to the past. We see Mudok bang the table. He told Wei-in that she doesn't need to go. He asked her about why she wants to leave. Wei-in explained to him that her father has personally decided to attend this negotiation. She said that her father will understand his intentions if his daughter attends the negotiation. Mudok told her that the negotiation might be a trap. Wei-in explained to him that she wants to trust her father for once. She begged him to let her attend the negotiation. After thinking about it, our boy gave in to her request. He asked her to return immediately if anything seems off. Wei-in was happy to hear this. She put her hand into her cloth. She told Mudok that she wants to give him something. Our boy asked her about what it is. She took out a necklace and said that it is a keepsake from her late mother. She said that her mother told her that the necklace has the power to return to the person who gave it out. She gave Mudok the necklace and told him that it will always bring him back to her. With a smile on her face, Wei-in asked her lover to not worry. She promised to never leave his side. Mudok realized that he should have stopped her back then. While sleeping, our boy hears people yelling above him. They said that a storm is coming. When he went to the deck, he saw everyone desperately trying to hold on to the ship. Mudok never expected a storm to suddenly appear. He noticed that he was under the shadow of something. When he turned to the side, he saw a huge wave that was ready to swallow the ship. Mudok covered his body with protective chi. He held himself down with a technique known as the 1,000-pound hammer. This technique protected him when the water pushed some people on the ship. People were pushed into the sea. They screamed out for help. A little girl and her father called out to the mother in the water. Mudok quickly raised some planks next to him with a technique known as telekinetic grasp. He fired the planks into the water and used it to grab the people inside the water. He wanted to drag them back to the ship. Before he could do anything, a man next to him said that the wave is coming again. Immediately the man said this. Mudok turned around to see the ridiculously large wave. The people on board began to lose hope. They held on to anything they could. Our boy knew that the ship couldn't take another wave. He realized that there was only one option left. He placed his hand on his sword and slowly pulled it out. His sword released a cold energy as it was taken out. The people did not understand why everywhere was so cold. Mudok decided to freeze the wave. He wanted to use a technique called freezing ice wind. Before he could use the technique, the jewel began to glow. Mudok was shocked to see this. A bright light from the sky pierced through the wave and shined on him. Our boy used his hand to cover his face from the blinding light. Mudok began to float. He suddenly disappeared while he was in the air. After he disappeared, something incredible happened. The storm disappeared and the cloud cleared up. The people did not understand what was happening. When Mudok opened his eyes, he found himself in a cramped space. He realized that he was in a carriage. Our boy did not know how he got here. He was certain that he was just fighting a storm in the middle of the sea. While he was trying to think, he hears someone scream. He realized that someone was close by, outside the carriage. We see different men running away from giant mosquitoes. The mosquitoes caught some of the men and injured them. 2 girls hid next to a tree and watched as the men ran. A man holding a knife referred to the girls as Savina and Annie. A boy next to him told them that they will save them. Mudok destroyed the carriage with his energy and crushed some mosquitoes next to it. The boy and the man turned around when they heard the loud sound. The leader of the group was shocked to see that the first-class carriage was destroyed. When the dust cleared up, they saw Mudok standing next to the carriage. Our boy assumed that he was in a forest somewhere in the Central Plains. When he looked around, he saw the merchants. He noticed that they looked different and had different clothes. He assumed that they were foreigners. He believed that he was in a different part of the Central Plains. When Mudok looked up, he saw giant flies. Our boy was shocked to see them. He had never seen flies this big. The fact that they were foreigners and huge flies in front of him, Mudok began to wonder about the place he is in. One of the flies rushed to attack him. Our boy easily dodged the attack. He used a technique known as Divine White Ice Palm to attack the fly. The fly froze and broke apart. Mudok could not believe that a mere beast would attack a human just because it grew a little bigger. He said that this is unforgivable. He gathered his energy and charged at the monsters. He froze all of them in an instant. The flies immediately exploded and turned into tiny ice shards. Our boy believed that this is enough for some pathetic bugs. The merchants were shocked to see what he did. The leader walked up to Mudok and tried to talk to him. He said that his name is Edmund Roll. He said that he is the leader of the Roll Merchant Association. Edmund bowed his head and thanked Mudok for saving their association. He referred to our boy as a magic swordsman and asked him if he can tell him his name. Unfortunately for Edmund, Mudok did not understand a single word he said. Our boy was still able to tell that the man was thanking him due to his gestures. He told Edmund that he does not understand foreign languages. He asked him if there is anyone who can speak the language of the Central Plains. The merchants did not understand what he was saying. Edmund turned to the man with glasses and said something to him. Mudok tried to ask the man if there is truly no one who understands the language of the Central Plains. He wondered about how he was going to explain things to them. While he was thinking, one of the men ran to Edmund and said something. He opened his hand and showed him a ring. Mudok wondered about what he wants to use the ring for. Edmund took the ring and cast a spell. He wore the ring and made a weird pose to finish the spell. Mudok was shocked to see the odd pose. After he was done, Edmund asked him if he can understand him now. Our boy was surprised to see this. He could not believe that he is now able to speak the language of the Central Plains fluently. He asked him if this is the power of the ring. Edmund was surprised to hear about the language of the Central Plains. He introduced himself again and thanked Mudok for saving them. He referred to him as Sir Magic Swordsman and asked him for his name. Our boy told the man his name. He told him that he does not know what a magic swordsman is. Edmund was surprised to hear this. He explained to Mudok that a magic swordsman is someone who uses both magic and swords like him. Our boy asked the man to tell him what magic is. Edmund was shocked to hear this. He could not believe that someone who just used ice in front of them did not know what magic is. He wondered about where Mudok came from. Our boy noticed that the man was lost in thought. He called out to him. Edmund was wondering about how he was going to start explaining things to Mudok. Our boy was angry to see that the man was ignoring him. He moved close to him and raised his hand. He released a cold energy from his hand and asked Edmund to answer his question quickly. Edmund became nervous when he saw this. He realized that the person in front of him is crazy. He decided to just explain things to him. He did not want to find out about what will happen if Mudok goes on a rampage. He told our boy that he will explain. He asked him to calm down. In the evening, we see the two of them sitting next to a fire. Mudok was surprised to find out about something called magic in this part of the Central Plains. He realized that the world is quite vast. Edmund was relieved to see that our boy had finally calmed down. He asked him about where the Central Plains is. Mudok was surprised to hear this question. He asked the man if he does not know where he is right now. Edmund did not understand what our boy was saying. Our boy explained to him that it is weird to not know where the Central Plains is when he is in the Central Plains itself. Edmund became more certain that Mudok was crazy. He explained to him that this is not the Central Plains. He told him that they are in a forest leading to the capital of the Drake Kingdom. The capital is known as Barhan. Mudok said that he has never heard anyone call the Central Plains the Drake Kingdom. He asked Edmund if he is already senile, even though he is not so old. The merchant was annoyed to see that some crazy guy was saying that he is senile. He revealed to Mudok that he is 50 years old. He told him that he is worried about him because he keeps insisting that this place is the Central Plains. Our boy became angry when he heard this. He pointed at a tree and told Edmund that they can ask the kid who was peeking at them from behind the tree. The boy stepped out when he noticed that he got caught. Edmund asked the boy named Leo about why he is there. Mudok asked the boy to answer him honestly. He asked him if this is the Central Plains or the Drake Kingdom. Leo could not answer him. Mudok asked him about why he is not speaking. Edmund explained to him that Leo can't understand his words. He took off his ring and asked Mudok to take it. He asked him to put it in his finger and shout interpret language. Edmund did not actually want to lend such an expensive artifact with a language interpreter to some crazy guy. However, He could not stand the fact that Mudok saw him as a senile old man. Our boy put on the ring and did as the man instructed. The moment he said interpret language, he saw different symbols around him. He quickly noticed that he could now understand the foreigners. He found magic to be amazing. He turned to Leo and asked him for his name. The boy told him his name. Mudok asked Leo if they are in the Central Plains or the Drake Kingdom. Leo asked him about where the Central Plains is. He explained to him that this is a forest leading to Barhan. Mudok was shocked to hear this. He asked the boy if he is also going senile. He asked Edmund if he was the one who asked him to say this. The merchant told him that he did not. He asked him to ask the other members of his merchant association if he is suspicious. Due to his reaction, Mudok was able to tell that the man is not lying. He remembered something weird. He recalled that he was fighting a storm on a ship. When he opened his eyes, he was already inside a carriage. Mudok realized that he got teleported somewhere else. The moment he realized this, he felt some pain in his chest. The pain quickly went away. He wondered about the strange feeling he got in his dantian. Edmund asked him if he now believes him. Mudok noticed that the energy here is much different from anything he has ever experienced. He realized that something is not right. He stood up and walked into the woods. He decided to check things out by himself. Edmund was surprised to see him stand up. He called out to him. As he walked deeper into the forest, Mudok noticed that this place has pure energy. He became certain that this place is not the Central Plains. Our boy jumped out of the woods. While he was in the air, he gathered and compressed his energy. After compressing his energy, Mudok released it into his body. He noticed that the amount of chi accumulated in his dantian has doubled. He turned around and moved back down. He wondered about why he got teleported here instead of a place in the Central Plains. He was still focused on finding Wayan. Before he landed on the ground, his necklace came out of his clothes. Mudok wondered if he got sent here because of the light emitted by the necklace earlier. He remembered that his lover told him that the necklace has the power to return to the person who gave it out. Our boy believed that he has been sent here to look for Wayan. He smiled when he landed. He told himself that Wayan must be here. At the camp, Edmund's subordinate asked him about where his new guest went. Edmund said that he does not know. He told him that our boy is unpredictable. The moment he said this, Mudok appeared. He explained to Edmund that he had some business to attend to. He told him that he has a question for him. Edmund noticed that our boy was smiling. He found it creepy. He asked Mudok to tell him his question. Mudok asked him if Leo was being truthful when he said that they are in the Drake Kingdom. The man told him that Leo was telling the truth. He assured him that they will reach Barhan if they travel a bit further. Mudok asked him to tell him where Barhan is. A little boy next to Edmund asked our boy if he does not know anything about this place. He asked him if he spent all his time training in the mountains. The boy said that he has heard stories about eccentric people like him. He said that this is his first time seeing an eccentric person in flesh. Mudok decided to take the boy's explanation. He told them that he has been training in the mountains, and he only just came out today to experience the world. He said that this is why he does not know anything. Mudok had never heard of places like the Drake Kingdom and Barhan. He decided to get more information about the place from the kid. Due to the fact that some of them had different colored eyes, our boy assumed that he was in the land of the Western barbarians, which he had only heard of. The boy was happy to hear what Mudok said. He was happy to see that he was right. He referred to our boy as Sir Magic Swordsman and offered to teach him a few things. Mudok accepted his offer. The boy walked forward and asked him to follow him. Mudok asked the boy for his name. The little boy introduced himself as Luffy. Edmund found it creepy that the crazy man was acting friendly. He could not understand what was going through our boy's head. Mudok began to learn about this place and the language the people use from Luffy. Our boy realized that this place wasn't a foreign land. It was actually an entirely different world. The land was oddly shaped and the writings differ from anything he had seen before. In this world, there are other species apart from humans. Elves and dwarves exist. Apart from them, beings known as beastmen also exist on the continent. Of all the species, the strongest are creatures known as dragons. Mudok believed that they were lizards with wings. There are also things known as warp magic and magic circles. According to Luffy, warp magic can be used by 5th circle mages and above. They draw a round magic circle on the ground and chant a spell. This allows one to travel to wherever they wish. The better the mage's ability, the further they can warp. To Mudok, magic was an inexplicable sorcery. He looked up to the sky and wondered about the other amazing things that this world could hold. Immediately he raised his head up. He noticed something strange. There were 3 moons in the sky. This was something he could not even imagine in the Central Plains. He wondered if Wayan was really the one who summoned him to this place. While he was thinking, someone screams at the girl known as Savina. He begged her not to do something. Mudok quickly turned around. He noticed that something was happening around the camp. Savina asked the man to tell her why she can't do something. The girl held a knife and grabbed Annie. She asked everyone to not come close to her unless they want to die. The merchants begged Savina to not do anything. Mudok wondered about what is happening. The man with glasses assured Savina that they will be able to heal both of them when they arrive in the capital. He told her that the capital has a lot of mages. He told her that he will even ask Edmund for a favor. He begged her to let go of Annie because she is scared. Savina asked the man whose name is Charles if he thinks that she is stupid. She reminded him that healers are rare even in the capital. She asked him if he knows how much it costs to heal one person. The girl told him that the assassin bug's egg is lodged in her heart. She said that it can hatch into a larva at any moment. She asked him if anyone can heal this. Charles did not know what to say to the girl. With tears in her eyes, Savina told him that the egg will tear she and Annie apart when it hatches into a larva. She raised the knife and said that it will be better for them to die while they are still in one piece. Before she could kill Annie, Mudok asked her to wait. He told her that he has roughly understood the situation. He raised his hand and used his energy to drag the knife from her hand. He assured her that he will treat her. He asked her to not do anything stupid. Savina did not know when he took the knife away. Mudok moved close to them. He asked them to sit down. He said that the treatment must start now. Edmund asked our boy if he also knows healing magic. Mudok explained to him that he does not know any magic. He said that he only knows a few healing techniques that were passed down to him. He told them that they can relax. Edmund and Charles were happy to hear this. Edmund moved close to our boy and begged him to save the girls. He assured him that he will repay him with all his heart even though he does not have much. Mudok told him that he was going to help the girls even if he didn't ask. He asked everyone to step back a bit. He said that he is going to start the treatment. Edmund asked his subordinates to step back. Mudok moved close to the girls. He asked them not to be so tense. He assured them that it won't take long. He asked them to close their eyes and relax. The girls followed his instructions. Mudok used his energy to scan their bodies. He noticed that the bugs were near their hearts. While he was carefully searching, he found something surprising. He found the bugs in their hearts. Guys, we have come to the end of our video. If you guys want more of this recap, let me know in the comments section. Don't forget to like and smash that subscribe button for more recaps. See you guys later.